Hi guys, and welcome now to the graph section here for the Arcadia and the and the small comparison that I did with the Arcadia and a few other IEMs. Anyway, um, one important factor that I think a lot of us reviewers many times neglect to mention is what exactly are you using as the device to measure the IEM in question. And I have over the years tried a number of devices. I am currently using this particular dongle from Dongle. I have used the Yuki, I have used and I use the Rose LC, the R500. And the reason why I do this is because you will get different results. That's the reality. It's something that for some time I never thought it would be as significant as it is, but it is significant, and it has to do with how the impedance of that particular IM interacts with the source that you are using. Okay. Anyway, all the measurements I'm going to show you are measurements that were done here with the Duno. And I repeated the measurements as well with the Yuki for the sake of guaranteeing that they were similar, and they were, because they're basically using the same DAC chip. And I also repeated it with the full dongle. These three gave exactly the same measurements, okay? And that's the measurements that I'm going to be showing you. Okay, let's start here. Arcadia, nice big bass. That's the emphasis here. If we take that 100 hertz point that I like using, you can see that it immediately shows us that this will be a warmer sounding IM. So there's no emphasis here on any particular part of the mids, upper mids, or treble. Basically, we're talking about that area functioning within a window of around 6 dBs. And like I said earlier in the review, the sound is a nice, warm, appealing sound. But yes, it can in occasions show some slight deficiencies in certain aspects. Now, if you guys recall, I also said that it reminded me of two other IEMs from ZIIGAAT, the Dos Cinco and the ZIIGAAT, the XJ Estrella. And that's what I'm going to be showing you right now. So what I've just placed is the Dos Cinco, and what I've now just placed is the Estrella. Actually, let's make the Estrella red so that it pops a little bit more. Okay, now let's start here with the Dos Cinco. Now, obviously, these are the measurements of the units that I have. Whenever possible and whenever I can, I do get dual units to confirm, and when I can do it, up to now, I've never really had big surprises. With regards here to the Dos Cinco and Estrella, I only have one set. I did not get dual sets, but I think it was not really necessary, because the Estrella has just the Dos Cinco has just got one more BA, which can, to a certain extent, maybe explain why we have this extra energy here in this let's say 3.5 to 7-8K area, and otherwise the rest is exactly the same, especially the bass. Okay, especially the bass. And if you recall, I praised the bass of the Dos Cinco. I thought the bass of the Dos Cinco was a really well done bass. And the reality is this: when you listen to the Arcadia and the Dos Cinco, you notice that the Dos Cinco just has that extra little bit more energy in the upper mids and the treble that just gives it a little bit more sparkle. Okay, and that's why it's difficult for me to say, oh, this one is better, that one is better. No, the Arcadia is the better one. No, they are both good. They are both doing their job really well. It's just down to a personal preference of yours and of mine. And in this case, I just personally prefer overall the balance that's been struck in the Dos Cinco over not only the Arcadia, and to a certain extent as well over the Estrella. Although the difference between the Dos Cinco and the Estrella is maybe less than the difference between the Dos Cinco and the Arcadia. As for the Dos Cinco, let me just place here the Dos Cinco. As you can see, the Dos Cinco, again, basically, it's exactly the same IM up to around the 3 kilohertz area. Not much of a difference. But then when you notice that things have gotten or have become different is up top. again, the addition of an extra BA has given that extra energy there, but then the balance of all those BAs does or has conferred a little bit more energy here in this presence area of 4.5K. Again, this is my unit, okay? Definitely you notice that this is the most sparkly, the most twinkly and sparkly of the three, without question. Okay, now if it is a song that doesn't have a lot of detail up top, if it's just a single female vocal, you know, with not much instruments, just maybe being accompanied by one or two instruments, then you will not notice much difference. And in that aspect, or in that particular scenario, the Arcadia does do the job really well and keeps up very well with the other two. Where the Arcadia loses, it's then when there is energy in the recording up top. There is that extra little amount of detail that you're wanting from the cymbals and from the hi-hats and so on and so forth, and that it's just a little bit more subdued. They are there in the Arcadia, but they're a little bit more subdued. Okay, that's it. Now, there were two other IEMs that I also mentioned during the review, which were the CK-LVX, or the Mayer Audio, the SL41 Mark II, and the CK2V. Both of them you're going to be very surprised now when I show you. Okay, so let's leave there. That's the Arcadia. This is the SL41, the Mark II version, which over the Mark I version, what happened is that they've boosted the bass and give it a little bit extra energy here. Actually, I can place here the Mark I as well, just for the sake of comparison. So you guys can see. So Mark I, 21. Let me just change the color of it into blue. And there we go. All right. So just taking away here quickly the Arcadia. As you can see, the difference between the Mark I and the Mark II is evident. More bass energy. So we're talking about a difference of let's see here, difference of just over 3 dBs, which is audible, and maybe just 1.5, 2 dBs here on the mids. Not as perceived, you don't perceive this as much as you do this part of the bass. So that's the difference between what exists in the SL41 Mark I and the Mark II. And when I compare the Mark II with the Arcadia, and you could argue, oh, but the Mark I is even closer. Fair enough. First of all, this energy that we have in the upper mids treble on the Mark II is not as intense as you would think. Why? Because you have this extra bass which has kind of subdued it slightly. So it actually sounds a little bit less intense than what the graph would be, and less pronounced the difference to the Arcadia. What you notice is that you have a sound which comes very close to the sound of the Dos Cinco. Let me just place here the Dos Cinco. And that's exactly it. The SL41 Mark II, okay, sounds very, very close to or sounds very much like the Dos Cinco, as you can see by the graph of the two that I've just put up here. All right. Anyway, that's that. And then, as I mentioned, there's also the CK-LVX, the CK2V, and that's even closer then to what the Arcadia's kind of bass tuning is like, but obviously with that extra amount of detail up top there due to the planars. I don't want to jump ahead too much. I don't want to talk too much, but I will say this much. Value for value, if I have to choose between the two, I'll choose the CK2V, period. Because it is capable of doing what the Arcadia does, maintain its composure by not being aggressive, not being overly energetic in problem areas, like this area of the upper mids and treble, but it still has that extra amount of sparkle. And if your argument is, oh, but if I need a little bit more of sparkle, I can just, EQ up slightly the Arcadia and get it, well, then my argument to that, well, if you find that the CK2V is a little bit too bright, you can always also EQ it down slightly. Value for value, money for money, the CK-LVX, Mayer Audio, CK2V is a better option. Okay, it's a more solid purchase, and also it's a planar, so it's a tribrid, so with planars and everything, so you got that wow fact. It's not just a plain just hybrid. Anyway, guys, this is my take here on the Arcadia, and as always, like and subscribe. Any questions, any other comparisons you want me to do, please let me know. And yeah, see you the next time. Bye bye, take care.